everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I am Sana and in this video we'll cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series 2022 in the GK Today's Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in the GK Today Android application. In this course in app, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision e-books that are optimized for reading on mobile. You are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. And let me tell you one more thing. If you want the Hindi version of this session, you can refer to our former channel named as GK Today. The link has been given in the description box from where you can reach to. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 15th and 16th of May 2022. Let's start. Who is the recipient of the 2022 Templeton Prize? So Frank Wilczek, who is the Nobel Prize winning theoretical physicist and author, was honored with this year's prestigious Templeton Prize. And this award was established in the year 1972 by the late philanthropist Sir John Templeton. And it is considered as one of the most lucrative individual award. So it is awarded to those individuals whose life's work symbolizes a fusion of science and spirituality. And one of the previous winners include Mother Teresa as well. Okay. Now apart from it, the Central Board of Secondary Education, that is CBSE, has issued the instructions to all the CBSE affiliated schools regarding the formation of Yuva Tourism Clubs. And the Ministry of Tourism has initiated these Yuva Tourism Clubs as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebration, and it aims to nurture and develop the young ambassadors of Indian tourism who would become aware of tourism possibilities in India, and also they will understand our rich cultural heritage and develop the passion for tourism. Okay, so if you are asked that which institution has announced to set up Yuva Tourism Club, answer would be CBSE. Okay. Now apart from it, Indian architect B.V. Doshi has been honored with Royal Gold Medal 2022 recently, right? Then Cynthia Rosenzweig from NASA has received the World Food Prize 2022 recently, right? Now next question. Which Indian ministry launched the Bharat Tap initiative? So Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, launched the Bharat Tap initiative at the Plumbex India exhibition. And Bharat Tap initiative will provide low-flow sanitary ware and thereby reduce the water consumption at the source. So he has also launched the Nirmal Jal Prayas campaign, which will basically work for saving of 500 crore liters of water per day. Fine. So this initiative belongs to Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And apart from it, Ministry of Agriculture and the Farmers Welfare and the United Nations Development Programme have recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding, and as per this MOU, UNDP will provide technical support towards the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana scheme, Kisan Credit Card Modified Interest Subvention Scheme, and UNDP has been providing technical assistance for the last 4 years. Okay. Now apart from all these things, India's retail inflation in April 2022 has surged to 7.79%, and it is largely driven by rising fuel and the food prices, and now it is touching its highest point in the last 8 years. Okay, so food inflation accounted for nearly half the consumer price index basket, and Reserve Bank of India's upper tolerance limit for retail inflation is 6%. Fine. So you can be asked that what is the India's retail inflation in April as it touched its highest point in 8 years? Answer would be 7.79%. Next question. Which state recently has launched its Startup Policy and Implementation Plan 2022? So Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Madhya Pradesh government's Startup Policy and Implementation Plan 2022, and this policy was launched with an aim to promote the startups and encourage the young entrepreneurs in Madhya Pradesh. And now a new feature has been added to the policy named as MP Startup Center, and this will have a dedicated office and a mentor for every startup and experts from the relevant field who will basically help the startup. Okay, so this scheme belongs to Madhya Pradesh. Okay, now let's see some of the important schemes as well. First of all, don't forget that Tamil Nadu is the first state in the country to offer breakfast in the government school along with the midday meal scheme for the students who are studying in classes 1 to 5. Then Chandigarh has officially banned putting up the posters and the banners without prior permission. Fine. After that, Madhya Pradesh state was also in news because recently it has launched the Ladli Lakshmi scheme 2.0, and under this a sum of 25,000 rupees will be given separately in 2 installments to the girl student who take admission in the college after passing the class 12. Okay. Next question. The Air Force test fired the extended range BrahMos missile for the first time from which aircraft? So the extended range BrahMos missile was air launched from a Su-30 MKI aircraft, and the Indian Air Force announced that the missile hit its intended target. Okay, so this is the very first time that the extended range version of the BrahMos missile was fired from Su-30 aircraft, and the extended range missile was earlier fired from the Navy's stealth destroyer called INS Chennai. So BrahMos is an indigenously manufactured supersonic cruise missile which has been jointly developed by Russia, right? Now apart from it, recently UK has provided Star Streak missiles and Stormer armored missile launchers to the country Ukraine amidst the Russian attack. Also recently, Russia has tested the intercontinental ballistic missile named as Sarmat. Okay. Then also, Israel has recently successfully tested a new laser missile defense system called Iron Beam. The terminologies are quite important here. Fine. Next question. After the resignation of Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Sri Lanka? So opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe was sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Sri Lanka by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and Mahinda Rajapaksa resigned following violent protest over the worst economic crisis, and now Wickremesinghe, who has previously served as the country's Prime Minister for 4 times, is now the new Prime Minister once again. And we know that Sri Lanka is facing its worst economic crisis since gaining independence from the Britain in the year 1948, right? Now let's see some of the important recent appointments. First of all, the Tata Group has recently appointed Campbell Wilson, who is the CEO of Singapore Airlines wholly owned subsidiary Scoot, as Air India's new Chief Executive Officer and the Managing Director. Okay, so Tata Group completed its acquisition of the state-owned national carrier in the month of January, and before this year it had named the Turkish Airlines chairman İlker Aysi as Air India's CEO and MD, but he subsequently denied his position, right? So you can be asked that who has been appointed as the new CEO and MD of Air India? Answer would be Campbell Wilson. And also in the earlier lectures we have seen that who is the new elected leader of Hong Kong? This is John Lee, and he has replaced Carrie Lam, right? After that, Rodrigo Caves, who's the former World Bank economist, is now the new president of Costa Rica. Fine. Next question. As per the SEBI's recent directions, what is the minimum number of investors for a collective investment scheme? So in order to strengthen the regulatory framework for collective investment scheme, Securities and Exchanges Board of India, that is SEBI, has enhanced the net worth criteria and track record requirements for entities which are managing collective investment scheme. Okay. So the market regulator SEBI has mandated a minimum of 20 investors and a subscription amount of at least 20 crore rupees for each collective investment scheme. Fine. So now onwards, the minimum number of investors for a collective investment scheme is 20. Now apart from it, as per the study of Indian Council for Medical Research, under the Hypertension Control Initiative, nearly 23% out of 2.1 million Indians have uncontrolled blood pressure, and 27% did not return for follow-up in the first quarter of 2021 as per the study, and only 10% of the patients surveyed have their blood pressure under control. So this study enrolled over 20 lakh patients across 19 states, including 10,222 health and wellness centers. Okay, so you can be asked that as per the India Hypertension Control Initiative project, how many percentage of adults who have been surveyed in India suffer from hypertension? Answer would be 23%. Next question. Which insurance company has launched financial literacy campaign in spheres enabling an empowered future? So Bharti AXA Life Insurance, which is a joint venture between Bharti Enterprises and the global insurance leader AXA, announced the launch of its financial literacy campaign called InSpheres, Enabling an Empowered Future. So it is a special initiative to spread the financial awareness among women and enable them to make informed financial decisions. Okay, so the company aims to engage with women, especially mothers, their families, and 1 million citizens to raise awareness about a financially secure future for the woman. Fine. Then apart from it, India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati signed a memorandum of understanding with Madagascar's official ORTM for cooperation and collaboration in the broadcasting, and the TVM will broadcast the programs from the productions of Prasar Bharati in the fields of culture, education, science, entertainment, sports, news, etc. Fine. So if the question is asked, India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati partnered with which country recently for collaboration in broadcasting? Answer would be Madagascar. Okay. Who became the first Indian brand ambassador of the luxury label Louis Vuitton? So actress Deepika Padukone is the first Indian to be signed on as a house ambassador by Louis Vuitton, and this brand recently launched its Dauphine bag campaign featuring Deepika Padukone along with Emma Stone and Zhu Dongyi. So Deepika Padukone is also a part of the 8-member competition jury of the Cannes Film Festival along with actor and filmmaker Rebecca Hall and Iranian filmmaker Asghar Farhadi. Fine. Now let's see some of the important and recent brand ambassadors. First of all, Farz has appointed Amir Khan as its new brand ambassador. Then Amitabh Bachchan is the new brand ambassador for Upgrade, which is a firm that provides online education. After that, who's the brand ambassador for Karnataka Brain Health Initiative? This is Robin Uthappa. And now you have to tell me who's the brand ambassador for Bharti AXA Life Insurance. Do let me know in the comments. I'm giving you a hint. This is the name of actress. How many new Indian languages have been added in the Google Translate language translation tool recently? So Google has recently added 8 Indian languages including Assamese, Bhojpuri, Sanskrit, Dogri, Konkani, Manipuri, Mizo and Mathili. Okay. So Google has added total 24 more languages to its Google Translate language translation tool, covering a total of now 133 languages used around the world. And also Google is adding Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Argentina, Brazil, etc. for the very first time. Okay. So only thing relevant is Google has added 8 Indian languages into its Google Translate language translation tool. Fine. Now apart from it, recently an MOU has been signed between Ministry of Rural Development and Amazon Seller Services Private Limited. And this alliance will now enable the self-help groups, entrepreneurs under National Rural Livelihood Mission to offer their products to the buyers across India through the Amazon Saheli store front. Okay. So this step will finally help the self-help group women to achieve good price for their product, right? Now coming to the last question, which Indian bank launched the Trade Next, which is a cross-border trade finance service? So Union Bank of India launched this Trade Next, which is a cross-border trade finance service for the Indian exporters and the importers. So this platform eliminates the need for the companies to visit a bank branch to initiate a trade transaction, and all the export and import transactions, including entry and processing of letters of credit, bank guarantees, export-import bills, and disbursement of export credit, etc. All this can be done in just one place. Fine. Then apart from it, the University of Mysore's Department of Studies in Genetics and Genomics signed an MOU with the Karnataka Forest Department for a study on the biodiversity of vultures in the Ramadevara Betta Hills in Ramanagaram using DNA profiling technique. So vulture gene bank is said to be established in Mysore for conservation of the critically endangered species, and the genetic department has proposed to start the vulture genome studies soon to save this species from getting extinct. Okay. So if you are asked that which city is to house the vulture gene bank for the conservation of the critically endangered species, answer would be Mysore. Okay. So these were the most important news and events from today and yesterday. And now we'll come to the revision section. First of all, we'll see some of the important awards and honors. Anada Shankar Smarak Samman is an award conferred for the literary works of which language? So this prize is given to the people in the field of Bengali language. Which program? Anyways, can you tell me who has recently received this honor? Second question is, which program has been chosen for the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in the Public Administration 2022 in the category of Innovation General Center? This is UDAN scheme. UDAN stands for Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagarik. Who was recently awarded the EY Entrepreneur of the Year 2021 at the 23rd EY Entrepreneur of the Year India Award? This is very famous Falguni Nair from Nykaa. Don't forget that only 3 Indian women have been featured in the 2022 Huron Self-Made Richest Women, and these 3 women are, first is Falguni Nair, second is Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, and you have to tell me who's the third lady in this list. Which bank's application won the Outstanding Digital CX SME Payments category at the Digital CX Award 2022? This bank is IndusInd Bank. Whiteley Gold Award is presented to the people who contribute in which field? Actually, this is called as Green Oscar, and this time this award has been presented to Dr. Chardat Mishra, who is an expert on snow leopard. Anyways, this award is presented to the people who are related to wildlife and biodiversity. Who won the 2022 Laureus World Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year Award? So regarding this question, we'll discuss 5 things. First question you can be asked is, who's the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year? Answer would be Max Verstappen. Then sportswoman is Elaine Thompson-Herah from athletics. Then which team has won the World Team of the Year Award? This is Italy men's football team. After that, Breakthrough of the Year Award goes to Emma Raducanu who's related to tennis. And last is Comeback of the Year Award, which is presented to Sky Brown from skateboarding. Okay, so these are the 5 important categories that you have to remember. Now in the next slide, we'll see some of the important states that were in news. Indian Army signed the Memorandum of Understanding to set up the Red Shield Center for Excellence and Wellness in which state or union territory. So this center would be set up in the state of Manipur. The first center of excellence for Khadi has been established in which state or union territory? It has been established in New Delhi. Which state or union territory recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the National Highways Logistic Management Limited for the development of ropeways? Many a times we have talked about it. Answer is Himachal Pradesh, and you have to tell me which are the 5 districts of Himachal Pradesh where these ropeways are to be set up. In which state was the first pure green hydrogen plant in India unveiled? Answer is Assam. In which of the following states would Bility Electric Inc. develop the world's largest electric 3-wheeler manufacturing facility? This state is Telangana. Fine. Now in the last slide, we'll see some of the important campaigns that were in news. India Out campaign is associated with which country? This is Maldives. And this campaign was led by former President Abdullah Yameen, and currently who's the president of Maldives? Ibrahim Mohammed Soleh. Right? SARS campaign, which was seen in the news recently, is associated with which disease? What is the full form of SARS? Social Awareness and Action to Neutralize the Pneumonia Successfully. So this campaign is related to the disease pneumonia. The Unbox Me campaign, which was launched recently, is associated with which day? So it is related to International Transgender Day of Visibility, and this campaign basically urged the parents to identify the gender of their children as soon as possible. Sujlam 2.0 campaign was started to improve the administration of. So it is related to grey water management, and it works under Ministry of Jal Shakti. Which government department recently launched the Donate a Pension campaign? So this campaign belonged to Ministry of Labour and Employment. Fine. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions. And at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Minu Hatsana signing off.